Hello, welcome to Brighton Salon and Fan TV. Ali here, bringing you my match review of the game at Brighton, which of course finished 1-0 to Brighton. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to keep this short, mainly because I just can't really be bothered with it all right now. Yeah, look, listen, do you know what? I thought it'd be worse. I thought it could have been worse. It could be worse. Could have been worse, couldn't it? Really, given our form. Because that's the worst thing. I can't really sound surprised with the result. Um, I thought, obviously the first 15 minutes we came out and did well, showed a lot more attacking intent. We had a shot on goal, so that's one positive of tonight. Um, and yeah, I think, I don't think Brighton as well. I don't think they were as good as the match at Sellers Park, which they probably should have beaten us by 3 or 4, if we're honest. And we probably got a bit lucky that day, didn't we? But today, I don't think they were as good. I think that's the frustrating thing. I think they played some good football in spells, Brighton. I think in the second half, when Decore went off, we lost the midfield more. What was Decore doing, by the way? He should have been sent off. Look, come on. Like, even the Palace fans were saying he should have been sent off. It was so bad. I at one point thought we need to get Luca on because I mean Luca would have got booked pretty quickly, but at least he would have started on a clean slate. But yeah. I mean, let's get into it for all the usual features. We'll do Vieira's rating. I'm going to give him a 5. I quite like the team selection. I wanted Ahamada to start, but I do get why he started Schlupp. I thought Schlupp had a decent game on the whole against Man City, and I could see why I'd have him in there with the threats of like Matoma, and Schlupp would help negate the threat of Foden, I think, against Man City. So I got the logic of Schlupp starting. And he did show more attacking intent with the choice of Edouard. He played Saha on the left and Eze on the right, Elise on the right. And the first 15 minutes we should have been in the lead. Edouard should have put that away. Does that prove that Vieira's right, or does it mean that Edouard's rusty because he hasn't had enough that game time? I don't know. Elise should have probably put his away as well. And then I thought it was a good finish from Solly March. And the first half, yeah, was good in terms of the first 15, and then Brian sort of came back into it strongly. And then Decore, which definitely should have been sent off. I kind of, a part of me did want them Vieira to keep him on just in case he got the equaliser. It would have been so funny because it would have wound the Brighton fans up so much. But he rightfully took him off at half time, and I thought it was bold by Vieira to bring Eze on. That was a bold substitution. I thought Eze was poor today. I thought he was poor tonight. Poor on the ball, slow on the ball. And that's why he's not starting games. And he looks very, very far from the Eze that glided through the whole Sheffield United team, doesn't he? You got to bear in mind he had a very serious injury. But I think back to Eze at Anfield at the beginning of the season, where I watched that game in the Don Robbie studios, and the studio was really full of praise for Eze that night. Where's that Eze gone? Is that down to him, down to the manager, down to both, down to the coaching, down to training? Who knows? But at the moment, we're not getting a tune out of Eze, or he's not getting a tune out of himself. I thought he was poor tonight. And look, the defining moment for me of the game, and maybe this is the defining moment, is 20 minutes to go. We're 1-0 down. We need a result. We're 3 points above the relegation zone. There's pressure starting to mount on Vieira, rightly or wrongly. There's things sort of creeping out in the media, and there's more tonight post game. And he takes off the one player who's looked like doing anything for the last month in Elise, for a player, and I can't even bother to look up the exact stats, but I think he probably averages about a goal every 20 games in Jordan Ayew. Now, Jordan Ayew is, for me, does a job in certain games, but when you're looking for a goal, when you're looking for a moment of magic, and you take off Elise, the one player who's had any sort of creative spark for us in the last month or two, that for me, I just cannot get my head around. And I've questioned Vieira's in-game management. to be honest, since the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea, where I thought he got subbed wrong that day. But that one is a baffling one. That one is up there with keeping the same team 6 weeks after Forest away when you've had the break and just repeating the same team against Fulham when we lost heavily to Fulham. And then when he moved Elise back centrally against Villa after playing so well out wide against Liverpool. But that one is just, I don't know. I can see some sort of logic in it because, like Brighton, after as I said, after Decore went off, were starting to really take control of the field. And I guess he wanted Ayew on to sort of win the ball back, and we did have Eze and Saha on, so he felt we probably still had a great creative output. I don't think Saha had a great game tonight. Like he's obviously just back from injury, you know. But yeah, that substitution for me. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. But for me, it was a poor one, and that's really the only real negative mark on Vieira tonight. I mean, I said before this week fixtures that we were never ever going to go back to sort of flowing football last season. This week, it was always going to be a bit of a needs more. It's going to be more of the same in terms of a need must approach. I actually thought he went with a more attacking tonight. But the problem is it was never just going to click like that again. And our attacks were really, apart from those two chances in the first 15, what they've been in the last 2-3 months. They broke down very quickly, poor decisions on the ball, slow on the ball, players not reading each other's runs. I said in the last podcast, is that possibly because Vieira's tinkered with the front three so much? Wolf's been out for a while, but there's no momentum for our forwards at the moment. And, that's proven by the lack of goals. So, yeah, I mean, let me know your thoughts below. Ed Mallion from The Athletic has again tweeted something on us. He's like a Palace connected journalist, and it's just, I said in the last podcast, there's no smoke without fire. That's the phrase that's coming to mind. I do feel there's something going on rumbling behind the scenes. But listen, the board, look, me personally, I still think it would be harsh on Vieira because of the fixtures he's had since January. As much as he's made some baffling decisions, I do feel like I watched the goal earlier, Conor Gallagher's goal when we strung 20 passes together against Brighton last season. Like he is capable of getting a team playing really good football, and I do feel like the fixture's been lopsided on him. And I do think it'd probably be fair to give him a crack from the Leicester game. The last 10 games we've got, I think 6 are in the bottom half. A lot of those fixtures are at home. Would the fairest thing to let him have a go at that and see if he can sort of build something towards next season, or are you done? Are you done with it? Do you think that actually his time's up? Personally, I still think it would be harsh, but listen, at the same time, I do get it, and I do get the frustrations because of things like that substitution tonight, those baffling decisions. That is exactly what Nice fans were saying at the end of his time there. But if I've never felt like so strongly before that if a manager does get sacked, right, the board need to apologise to him and say, yeah, you've got some things wrong, but we've got some things wrong too, right? It was only in December that Steve Parish was saying that he thought this was a good squad. Listen, I love Steve Parish. He's done amazing things for this football club. Best chairman we've had, arguably. Definitely in my lifetime. But, sorry, Simon Jordan. But, like, it's not a good squad. The fullbacks are poor. We need a striker. I mean, he said this before we even had reinforcements in for Ahamada and Lukonga in central midfield. There has to be, the phrase is, a collective responsibility from top to bottom. The players need to take responsibility as well. They've been poor, and yeah, it's not just on Patrick Vieira. That's my main point here. It's not just on Patrick Vieira, and it shouldn't just be on Patrick Vieira. There's deeper problems there, and I really like Patrick Vieira as a person, as a guy. It's hard to watch him right now. It looks like it feels like he's stinking. Who knows? Arsenal on Sunday, former club. Maybe that's going to inspire him to pull the rabbit out of the hat because We need the points. We're 3 points above the relegation zone. It could be worse by Sunday. And I honestly hope he can still turn this around because I still think there's a promising manager in there. Despite some of the baffling decisions, I still, think there's a promising manager in there. And can he bide himself that time? Will we give him the time to show that? I listen. I still don't think we'll go down. I still think we've got enough in the changing room. 3 points is ominous, but there's still a stack of teams below us. I think we'll be okay. It's definitely gonna be a lot closer than I thought. Am I naive to think that? Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about relegation? Is that a distinct possibility for us? Let me know your thoughts on Vieira and the possibility of relegation in the comments below. But the frustrating thing for me tonight really was I thought Brighton, as they did play very well, they played some good football, don't get me wrong, but for me, they weren't as good as what they were at Sellers Park. And I think there was potential to get at them a bit. We've lost by 1 goal. And yeah, the frustration was in that last 20 minutes with the 9 minutes injury time, I'd have liked at least say running at them. But yeah, thought different on that. So man of the match is clear and obvious. It's Joe Whitworth. What a great debut. What a proud moment for him. So calm on the ball. The Brighton fans kept doing this weird thing where they were going. It was even weirder than that little light show at the end of the game where they were trying to put him off and screaming at him every time he took a goal kick. And it's like, or the ball was passed back to him. Like, did you, I was laughing because we all know from his games in the academy how good Whitworth's distribution is. It's a bright spark today. So we've lost 1-0. Who was your man of the match? For me, it was Whitworth. I've given Vieira 5 in his rating. What would you give him? On to Arsenal next, just at the league leaders. So that'd be a good one to try and get a goal. I'll be back with a review of that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And were you at the game? Anyone at the game tonight? Let us know how it was. As always, leave the comments below. And if you've liked this video, please subscribe.